In this video, I'll share the scalping strategy I use, where I've combined 3 different techniques to maximise trade opportunities and profitability. I'll show you exactly where to enter, exit, and set a take profit. It doesn't get any easier than this.
Traderholics.
Hey, welcome to Traderholics. We're not gurus, we're traders just like you. We share what's worked for us and keep you updated in the latest in trading. Also, don't forget to come join us on our live stream weekdays. So, that sounds good. Hit subscribe and click the notification bell so you never miss out. Now, let's get into the video. Okay, no fluff, let's get straight to it. Okay, on the 1 minute time frame, so again, this is on the 1 minute time interval, just go on the ES for now. What you'll see is a white line, which is the 10 EMA. You'll see some arrows and you'll also see some blue lines. Okay, this is a combination. I use this in a combination of 2 different strategies. Now, this is for, I use this for scalping predominantly. Okay, and when it also helps with a bit of a change, with a bit of a trend direction change as well. Okay, so first I'll show you. I'll show you the 2 different strategies. If I go here, there's this one here, which is called real life trading. It's just a channel. And if you scroll down, just look for this video here, 10 EMA strategy explained. And then I've also got this one here, Quant Trade Edge. And if you scroll down, you'll see a video on NQ 1 minute scalping 7 for 7 winners. And you scroll down and you'll see another one on the hoagie pattern in action. Okay, so I'll explain what those are, and I use both these 2 different systems on this chart. I've also seen 2 others which also use the 10 or the 8 EMA, which are very similar. And real life trading it has tested this for about 6 years worth of data, and it works. So, and I found it to be really good as well. So I'm not just going off what he said. I've been using it quite a while now, and it really helps when I'm doing my scalping. I don't just use it only when I do a scalp, but this is one of the things. Okay, so let's get into it. So this QTE scalper here, and I'll give you those after I finish explaining. This will give you the arrows of when to take longs and when to take shorts. Okay, now for the first strategy, what you're looking for, if I switch over to this screen here it is. Here's an example of what to look for on this QTE Quant Trade Edge system. Okay, so what you're looking for is now above the 10 EMA. So let me just quickly change this for you. I'll just change the color. So what you're looking for is a long, or in this case, a short. So let's say this is the 10 EMA. Okay, you only take a short when this happens below the line. So what you want to see is a red candle like this that has a higher high and a higher low of that previous candle. And when it breaks that low, here is where you would take a short. Okay, and then in this example, this is for a long. So assume that your 10 EMA is like this. It has to be above the 10 EMA, and it's the opposite. So instead of a higher high and a higher low, you're looking for a lower high and a lower low. So lower low, lower high than that previous candle. When it breaks this line, you would take a long. Okay, and this is just giving you an example because obviously the candles are never perfectly sized like that. So that's a scenario of a short if you had a 10 EMA like this. So if you get this scenario in a short but it's above the 10 EMA, you don't take it, and vice versa. For a long, it has to be above the 10 EMA for you to take a long. If it's below, you don't take it. So let's just now I'll switch back to the main screen. Give me 2 shakes. All right, so we're back on our main screen here. Let me change my pencil color there. All right, so what you're looking at here, so this the indicator, which I'll show you where to get it from, and it's free. It will give you mark it out. So for argument's sake, I'll just use this one. Here's your green arrow to take a long. So we've got a lower high and a lower low before this red candle. So as soon as price goes above there, you would take a long, and the stop losses are discretionary. You can do it either beside the lowest low, the last swing low, or you can also do it over just any kind of swing low. Put your stop loss there, and try to look for a one-to-one. So if you took your trade there, you'd want to sort of look for a roughly, you know, if I bring this down, well, you want to look for a stop loss, you know, at a one-to-one sort of thing, the same sort of distance, yeah. So imagine if that distance, you just do a one-to-one, right? So once you know what your stop is, roughly look for a one-to-one minimum on the trade, okay? All right, so that's pretty self-explanatory. I'll just give you an example of a short trade. So if I move over here, so here's a short trade there, but I'll get a better one that you can see sort of worked when you get the arrows. Let me shrink it a little bit. Okay, now you can see here it's giving us a red arrow, but it's above the 10 EMA, so you don't take it. It has to be below, okay? There's another example of a long, so you can see that lower low, lower high, broke that, and we went all the way up, right? So good short. So this is a scalping strategy. Now, yes, that was an indication you don't take a short because it's above the 10 EMA. It'd have to be below, right? So I'll give you a good example of one that really worked well, because this is through, see the wick's through there, you want to see it below. So I just want to give you a good example of a short. Okay, so here's a good example of a short. Okay, it's better here, you can see. So we've had a higher high and a higher low of this previous candle. Okay, so it breaks this low, when the price breaks that low, which it did, you would have taken a short, yeah? And you would have put in your stop loss at the last swing high, which could have been way up there, but then you're looking for too big a trade if you do it as a one-to-one. So you could even just use just above the 10 EMA of this swing, the last swing high there, right? So you would put your stop there, and then you look for a one-to-one trade, right? Which roughly it did hit here. Okay, so this is for scalping. So that's an example of the shorts on that system. Before we dive further into the scalping video, if you're finding this info helpful, please consider using our discount code TAH for your favourite prop firm. It helps you save money and helps support the channel. Now, let's get back to it. Now, you'll also see these blue lines. Now, they're called hoagies. That's what this inside bar finder is. So what a hoagie is basically of this candle here, you'll see it's drawn the high and the low of this candle. When you get at least one or two inside bars, like they haven't broken the low or the high of that candle, okay, that's called a hoagie. So you've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside bars. When you either break the top or the low, it's also an indication of going short. So you can see we broke the low of that hoagie, and we've kept going down, okay? And you would use the other end as your stop loss, okay, and vice versa for longs, obviously. So let's quickly find one for a long example, okay, of a good one. So you can see the short there again, okay. So here's an example of a good long one, okay. Bang, we broke the top of the hoagie. So we would have taken your long here. You would have put your stop loss here, and up we go, right? But once again, just do look for like a one-to-one. Now, this isn't the only thing I look at for scalping, but it's one of the things I use to help confirm my scalping with this system. Now, the other thing I will say is that regardless of that particular strategy, you want to use the 10 EMA. As I've done some statistics and stuff on this myself, you'll find that you can see how it hugs. You don't really get any candles opening and closing below the 10 EMA. When that happens, you wouldn't even be thinking of a short in this case until we had a candle like this, which opened and closed below that line. Okay, only then that can signify a change in direction. Okay, now not all the time, but you use that as a confirmation with other things. So you can see here, it's been holding, no candles opening and closing above that line, okay? Right, there it is, those closed, but you didn't get a candle open and close above that line, okay, until where? Here it closed, but you had a candle open and close above that line, and what's happened? We had a direction change. So that whole time, from all the way up there down to here, we didn't have a candle open and close above that line until here, till this red and green candle. And then we had a direction change, okay? I can't tell you how long that direction change will be. Could be small, could be big, but you use that as a confirmation with other things other indicators and other strategies that you have to give you an idea of a trend reversal. So until that happens, I wouldn't consider even thinking about going in another direction. Okay, and you can see up here again, okay, you had one there, but didn't. It kept going. Again, it's not 100%, nothing is. But you can see here we had this candle closing, opening and closing beneath that line after having that uptrend. And down we went, right? Until finally, you just had one open close there. We've gone a bit sideways, but we have gone up, okay? So that 10 EMA is really powerful. When it hugs and you don't get candles closing, it's a good way to keep going in that direction, and don't even think about taking a trade in the other direction till you've at least had a candle open and close on the other side of that line for a changed direction. So that's just experience and something that I've done statistics on and stuff myself, right? Now, the other way of using it besides the quant, that's the quant trade edge strategy. Then you've got the one I showed you, which is the real life trading strategy there, that one there. How he uses it, and he's tested this for 6 years apparently, is nice and simple, really. All you got to do is, I'll give you a good example, is when you get something like this, okay, so what you want to see is a green candle like that, right? So after we've gone up here, when a candle crosses underneath in this case, right, you want to look for the first green candle like this one. Right, it's just there. And when you use the bottom of that candle to take a short, okay? And vice versa for a long. So let's say we're moving along here. Let me put this on this automatic thing that's driving me crazy. Okay, so for argument's sake, when you're on top of the 10 EMA, so you want to wait for it to shift, okay? So in this case, we've been going down. Once you get a shift where the candles are on top, what you want to look for, in this case for a long, is a red candle, which is, so this is the first time that it's crossed the 10 EMA, just there, right? So after all this time, this is the first candle that we've had that's actually sort of like crossed the line, closed above the line, and we've had this red candle just here. So if the price breaks that, okay, you're taking a long, which was just here. And you can see what happened, okay? We went up. And vice versa for down. So you want to wait for that change of direction first. So let's look for one. So for argument's sake, we've been going up here. We've had a candle, right, that's opened and closed below it, a green one. So on the shorts, you're looking for a green candle to be broken, the first green candle that appears. Or for longs, you're looking for a red-green candle to take longs with. So you can see this has crossed the line here, but we haven't had a red candle till up there, right? The price didn't break that candle until way over here, right? Barely, okay? So you want to wait till there's been a change first, and then it's the first red or the first green candle, okay? So just to give you a clean shot of one again, okay? Let me give you a nice clean shot of one. So yeah, we've been going up here, okay? We're clearly below the line now. This is our first green candle here, okay? So if it breaks that low, you could take a short. So here you go, breaks that low. You could take a short there, okay? And you can use the last swing high as your stop loss and go for a 1-to-1, and you can see roughly we would have hit it, okay? So that one's nice and simple. You're just waiting for the first red or green candle either above or below when the price crosses those lines. Okay, so hopefully that's nice and easy. But again, you can go to the real life trading channel, and he's got that video on it which I showed you. You can get an even more detailed explanation if you like. Okay, so now I'll just show you where the indicators are, where to get them. So QTE scalper, if you go to your indicators, type in QTE. It's this one here, the Joseph one, not the Scalper modified. So QTE scalper with Joseph Martin, that's the one there. Okay, if you go to, I'll just go to the settings. There's the settings there. There's the inputs there. You can take a screenshot. That's nice and simple. And then the inside bar finder, which I found myself. Now you can change the setting there to 2, but it doesn't make a difference. I've tried it. It must be a bit defective or something. But that's the settings for the hoagie bars, those blue bars over here. and that's what's on the style. So all free, no problems, and easy to find. And then these bottom two, quite simple. That's just your normal volume you get on every chart that I just changed from, your normal bars to like lines instead, okay? So there's the volume one. Now you use the volume like you've probably seen before. You want to see, if you're going up, you want to see the green candles getting higher and higher. So for argument's sake, if I draw a line from here to there, you see that green? So you've got lower green, but they're going higher. It's peaking higher. So you've got these there. And that's a good, it's letting you know that it's a good, nice, sustained move, because that's agreeing with the move. Because obviously, if this was going the other way, where you had the green candle up here, and then the green candle's getting lower, but yet it's going up, it's not going to last. It's not a good indication. So that's how I use those. Nice and simple. Just a basic volume one. You can just type in volume indicators and you get it. Now this one down here, let me get rid of that. So this one down here is called the volume delta harmonic. If you type that in and you just put in volume delta, it's this one here, volume delta harmonic by half harmonic. Okay. Now, here's the settings for it. I didn't really change hardly anything on this. Okay, and there's the inputs. Okay, so that's what the inputs are for that. Now, pretty much you use it as delta. If you don't know what delta is, it's basically the difference between the buys and the sells. So your buys and your sells, it's the difference. So if you've got you put two numbers together and you've got 1,000 sells and 1,500 buys, you're going to have a 500 in delta, right? Because you've got more buys than sells. So you'd have a positive delta in that case. Okay, and that's what this is showing you. So it's showing you, so if you look here, you can see that, like, see on this downtrend here, you got all these red dots. There's more red than green there. So there's more negative delta, and that's why we've come down. Okay, same with that little period there. You can see we had one bit of a push up here. We had a couple of green delta, little patch of it there, but you can sort of see most of them are red triangles, okay, showing that we've got negative delta overall. Okay, so that's what you're sort of looking for there on the bars. So, like you can see in this patch, we just started to get more green triangles when it was going up. So we're starting to get positive delta, okay? And then it shows you the difference between, in each candle, have you got more positive delta or negative delta? So in that candle there, which was green, you had more buys than sells, okay? So that's what each candle's showing you, okay? Have you got more buys or more sells? And then this chart over here tells you the difference. Now it's a weekend, so I don't have any, it's not moving or anything, but as that candle's creating, you'll see this grid change to green or red, which means the red's negative, the green's positive, and it'll show you the amount of cells in volume as opposed to the buyers. So you can see in this candle, right, 0 buyers in that candle, and we've had 3.475k in volume of sellers. So you can see how red it is. There's like a speckle of green down there. So that's also good to keep an eye on the actual candle itself, especially when you're scalping. Okay, so that's an explanation of that. Pretty straightforward. Hopefully enjoyed it, and I will see you on the next video. Okay, cheers for now.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.